Hi, welcome to Reflections in My Footprints, Chapter 1, Sexual Traumas. Before I get into that, let me catch you up. My earliest memory is of me in Zerist. I'm sitting on a concrete floor and eating scrambled eggs. Something about the taste of scrambled eggs and tomato sauce stuck in my mind all these years. 30 years to be exact. Nothing more about this day, just me, my cousin, the floor, the eggs, and the tomato sauce. I thought this would be a great way to introduce myself to you. Hi, my name is Umpile, and this is my story. The first few years of my life, after I moved to Rustenburg, weren't bad at all. In fact, most people would say that I was spoiled. My dad's uncle and aunt, who I thought were my grandparents, were phenomenal. I didn't raise a finger to do any of the housework or yard work. I simply woke up, brushed my teeth, and the rest was taken care of. I lived like a king and soon forgot my life in Zerust. I even made a new best friend, Lloyd. Life was amazing. That's not to say that I didn't get a hiding every now and then for wetting the bed, or breaking something, or even stealing. Even through the hidings, I still felt love and tenderness from my grandpa and my grandma. But let's fast forward to the real stuff. High school. These were the rough years of my teenage life. At this point, I was bullied so much for being a chubby kid that I already turned into a bully myself. Lloyd was the only person who understood my struggle because he too had heard it all. The fat jokes. You see, when all you hear is how fat you are, you develop a thick skin. See what I did there? Anyway, we soon used what we had to our advantage to secure our spot in the world. I guess seeing those kids fight and scream for the stuff we had made us feel important at school the same way we felt important at home. We were not just fat kids who couldn't run. Lloyd introduced me to a lot of things. We were not allowed to leave the school premises right after we finished our exams. We would wait for the receptionist at school to go to the bathroom or leave his desk for whatever reason. Then we would bolt for the doors. We would always go to the local swimming pool because we could spend the whole day having fun and no one would ever find us. Those were the great times. Lloyd also introduced me to smoking cigarettes. Although me and him could not hold the smoke in our lungs without him having to vomit or me having to cough my lungs out, we would always try them out every now and then when my parents were not home. One day Lloyd and I were chilling at his place when he took out a VHS tape and played it. This was my first experience of porn. We couldn't get our eyes off it. We just sat there, opposite from one another, as blood rushed into our penises. I didn't know what I was feeling, but I knew I liked it. I also knew I was not supposed to be watching it. We eventually stopped and saw each other's erect penises through our pants, and we laughed at each other. He also introduced me to friends too. Because I was the shy one between the two of us, I was also a late bloomer, and all the other boys started developing deeper voices, and I still had my weird little voice. The boys started growing hair in private places and grew taller, and they looked masculine while I still looked like a chubby little kid. Lloyd also introduced me to a boy. Let's call him Tato, to protect his identity. Tato acted differently towards me than the other boys, but I didn't notice at first. In fact, I only noticed much further in my life. So one day after an exam, Tato and I bunked together because Lloyd wasn't writing that day. We did the usual bunking ritual and ended up at the pool once more. Tato and I were wrestling in the pool and being boys until I felt him reaching for my privates. At first, I thought he was just playing, but he was being a bit more forceful.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to feel who's bigger.
It's okay. They can touch it, but don't grab it. Stop! People are watching, and that's a bit uncomfortable.
We've never meant the people to sell this.
Why is yours bigger?
I guess I just have a bigger one.
I guess I only realized that Tato was only exploring his sexuality, and I was too underdeveloped and immature to notice then. I just kind of avoided him more and more from that day. I didn't understand what was happening. Anyway, let's go a couple of months later. At that age, I didn't know why everyone was so interested in sex. I doubt I even knew what the word sex really meant. But everywhere I turned, people were obsessed. To be honest, I still don't really understand what the obsession with sex is till today. And I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes at the back of your skull right now. But it's true, I don't. Anyway, moving along. At this stage of my life, I was already living with my parents, and the soft life that I fell in love with had slowly begun to disappear through the years. I had chores and two younger siblings. I had responsibilities that I totally sucked at, and my dad was always close by to remind me how much I was bad at doing stuff. But let's save that for a later time. Let's get back to the sexual traumas.
MP, it's fine, Nebo. You can go watch TV with your friend. I'll finish up here. Go. Enjoy, ne? Have you guys watched porn before? Okay. MP, have you ever kissed a girl before? Well, you've got soft lips.
As you know, we'd seen porn before, but this time it felt weird. I didn't know how to feel or what to say. My nanny and I spoke about a lot of things, but this felt awkward. Wrong. But of course, I never told my parents. I mean, where would I even begin? That was the first time that I saw a woman outside of my own family naked. She claimed that the vibrating sounds scared her, but why was she naked? I asked myself. She slept next to me that night, but I couldn't. We eventually found out that the sound was just my phone alarm vibrating on top of the TV. Kgololosego was one of the guys that I feared. He was just so tall and emasculating, especially to me. He used to treat me like a little bitch, in the literal sense. He used to play with my cheeks, spank me on the bottom, and pretended to butt fuck me. My friends would always laugh, even Lloyd, and I'd be so embarrassed, but I had to pretend that it was all good. But this was the last straw. I happened to know a couple of grade 12 students who seemed to like me. Maybe it's because I used to give them that occasional $1.50 for a cigarette every now and then. I just happened to know the best fighter in school, and I might have whispered in his ear that I had a bully.
WhatsApp.
That will teach him a lesson. So I thought. But boys love revenge. On the last day of school that year, Kgololosego got his.
Hey, Tile. Yeah. English teacher calling you.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
저희 식스 아거너 보고 투비싼 가지 앵어로 이타로 고 타는 예? 이 무리라
I don't want any trouble, man. Somebody help me.
I'm not gonna lie. That fucked me up. Till this day. Everything that led to that moment broke me. I've always felt alone on this planet. Even when I filled up my circle with friends, colleagues, and classmates. No one has really understood me. And quite honestly, I don't understand myself most of the time. I've gone through so many transformations and friends that I lost huge chunks of myself. I don't trust anyone but myself. I knew I'd never come back to that school. How could I? I needed a fresh start and a new personality. My life has never been easy, and I'm tired of falling into the same trap. I'd like to tell you all about my experiences with depression, death, daddy issues, loneliness, relationships, alcohol. But that's a story for another day. My name is Umpile, and I'll see you in the next chapter.